What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC. Today we're taking a look at the February 2024 Log+Jotter. This is a monthly notebook subscription that costs $5 a month, and for that you get a 3.5 by 5.5 inch pocket notebook with a unique cover each and every month. Now, get 40 pages in that notebook, and you get to choose the style of pages. So you can choose from dot, blank, or grid style pages. We get the dot, so without further ado, let's dive in, see what they sent us for February. Really awesome looking cover this month. It's got that kind of vintage Americana vibe to it. Have an American bison front and center, so that immediately draws you into like the nature and outdoors. But for me, it's an animal that I immediately associate with power. It's just a regal, kind of majestic creature. And so it evokes that emotion in me. Definitely appreciate that. And you can see the background. It's got this old school, like brown background, almost like paper baggy background with the red and blue font over the top on those banners. And if you take a closer look, they're not super crisp or clear, giving it that super vintage feel overall. Made in America across the bottom, so obviously appreciate that. But really great cover design, a lot different than the style we saw last month, which I appreciate. Last month was one of my favorites of all time, and this one stands right up there with it. It's a really strong imagery, but very different. It shows a lot of versatility. And one thing I really appreciate about Log+Jotter notebooks is that they don't really try and chase the holidays. And so Christmas is sometimes an exception, but for the most part, just because there's a holiday that month doesn't mean that's going to be the theme for the month. Their themes kind of stand on their own. And the reason I appreciate that is I almost never use my Log+Jotters until several months after I receive them. And so if it's themed around a holiday, I'd probably want to hold off until using it until the next holiday. So for example, if they did a Valentine's Day themed one, I probably wouldn't end up using it until a year from now, next Valentine's Day. So definitely like that, but really cool image, super striking image, which leads us into the back. And so pun intended, they did go with that matte strike pull here on, or pull, I'm used to talking about knives here, that matte striker on the back here, and they've used that before, but I definitely dig it, definitely appreciate that, more so than just the logo on the top. This one fills out the page nicely, and it always looks really cool, goes well with that brown background, and I'm not sure if it was the intention, but kind of makes this feel like you're getting an old school like Matchbox, and this is the top of the box with the striker here on the bottom. So really cool. Let's dive on into the inside. So as you can see, I do get those dot pages as I mentioned, and the top is what we typically expect, spot for your name and dates, summaries and logs. We have that inch ruler along the side. One of my favorite things to look at though is the page prompts that they come up with. And so this is where they might take some liberties with the holidays, although not always, they try and mix it up. So this month the page prompts are a story about my parents, sketch a tattoo, when I fell in love, the coldest winter, a warm place I want to go, a prayer for my spouse, a time I was courageous, and doodle a page. Flipping over to the back, this one has our list and dates as well as a centimeter ruler, but also has our issue design and inspiration. So the issue design this month is called American Bison. Issue date is February of 2024. And for our inspiration, it says this month the inspiration is pretty simple. We decided to take something we think is really cool and put it on the cover. It's probably not a secret that we love the outdoors, the American West, and wildlife. One of our absolute favorites of all of those things is the American bison. So while our inspiration for the cover this month is simple, we hope you do the same as you fill up the pages. Think of some of the your favorite things to see, do, and enjoy. Big or small, write those down as you make and tell a story, because sometimes that's all the inspiration you need. And so that's it for this one. I would love to hear your thoughts on this notebook down in the comments below. Also want to mention we have a weekly live show aired last night. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. But if you missed it and want to catch the replay, this time around it's over on Tim's channel over at Tim's School of Fish. And I'll link to the playlist in the description of this video. So if you're looking for that replay, wondering where it is, we are going to be alternating weeks from here on out. So you'll be able to find that episode over on Tim's channel. But I appreciate everyone who tuned in, everyone who watches it after the fact, and everyone watching this. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting that notification button. They all help the channel out a ton. I hope you have a great one, and happy Valentine's Day. Take care.